let's get to the result of yesterday. And United missed the chance to record back-to-back wins. After the game, Ruben Amorim saying that they might be the worst team in Manchester United history. Now, that is quite a statement. What do you think his thinking is here?
See, I'm not really sure what his motive is for doing this. I was trying to think as a player, how would I feel if my manager came out and said that? I think probably I'd want to prove him wrong. I think that would probably be my first thought. Then would I think if I was one of those players that's maybe lacking a little bit in confidence, which you can see there's lots of mistakes that's going on with Manchester United at the moment. There's certainly players that are lacking that belief and that confidence. So how would that then affect me in that way? And then I was also thinking, what would the owners think of that? So there's clearly something behind saying it. There's a reason behind saying it. Is he trying to take off that pressure of his team at the moment, that he knows it is a big task, it is a big job. So he's sort of saying, well, I don't have these players. We are the worst team at the moment and things are only going to get better. So I'm not too sure what his motive is. Not sure if it's the right way to go about it. I suppose only time will tell.
Do you think they are?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think at the moment they're certainly not performing the way that we thought that they would perform in terms of... It's difficult to say because obviously Amorim came in, he's completely changed the style, the way of playing. We said it's going to take time. Even when they got the good result against Everton, I remember him saying there's going to be storms, this isn't going to be smooth. It's always difficult when you do change a tactic, if you like, mid-season. We praised them when they beat Arsenal in the Cup. We praised them when they drew against Liverpool, and we said defensively they were sound, they were solid, they showed a real resilience, they showed a real discipline off the ball, which was we had to commend them for that. But then I was like, well, what are they going to be when they play against Southampton and they've got to actually go and attack teams? What is the sort of attacking way in this system? How are they going to do that, and will it work? And against Southampton, they were probably quite lucky, weren't they, in terms of 80-odd minutes, Southampton were the better side. Ahmad rescued them. So at the moment, we're still seeing a Manchester United side that are still moments in those attacking thirds. So that's something that he has to improve on. Defensively, again, we're seeing problems. And I know we're going to praise Brighton, but you have to sort of praise Brighton and the way that they exploited Manchester United's weaknesses yesterday.
Well, you mentioned Amed Diogo, so let's talk about him. Of course, got that hat-trick to win that game against Southampton that you were talking about there. He has, I guess, been the bright spark under this Amorim reign so far, but is there a danger they're relying too much on him, and when he doesn't produce, neither do United?
Well, that has been something that we've said, isn't it, for a long period of time, where it's always been on one particular player is going to stand out and make the difference, whether that's Bruno, whether that's Amed Diogo, whether that's Rashford when he had those sort of moments of excellence a few seasons back. And we're seeing it again with Amed Diogo. Where's his best position? Is it as the wing back? Is it as one of the number 10s? I quite like him centrally and with the ability to move out wide, but that sort of freedom in there. But he was the player that stepped up against Southampton. I think when we all thought, wow, this is a huge defeat to Manchester United after getting those couple of positive results, he was the one that stepped up and actually took the game by the scruff of the neck. I just think he really suits Amorim's way of playing, the energy, the intensity that he plays with off the ball, the runs that he makes on the ball, whether that's dribbling, whether that's passing and going. We've seen all sorts of things to his game, and he's still a young player, so he's still got time to improve. So he's a player that you look at when you look at this Manchester United side and you go, well, yeah, he fits that way of playing, but how many of the others fit that way of playing? It's probably not that many.
What about Joshua Zirkzee? Started the game, looked better.
Yeah.
Is that a fair comment? Can he take something from this performance?
Yeah, I think so, because you had to feel for him against Newcastle where things weren't going right. He got substituted before half-time. No player wants that. And a little bit of stick from the fans as well, a certain section of the fans. So that's tough. You've got to deal with that and you've got to put that behind you. And I think when he has played since, we have seen that sort of quality that he has got, whether that's linking play, you know, the ability that he's got making those late runs into the box. Is he the number 9? Is he the answer to the number 9? I'm not too sure. I think Højlund's having a tough time of it at the moment. So again, he's trying to find the best solution in that area. But if you're looking at recruitment, it's certainly an area I think Manchester United would need to look at. You think if you had a top world-class centre-forward, Højlund would probably just be learning off him and coming in for certain games and playing 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there. But it's a lot of pressure on a young man to come in and take that responsibility. And, you know, at the moment, he's not quite finding his feet. But I think this is the problem with Manchester United in terms of this system that Ruben Amorim's playing. And I know there's been so much talk about the system and the tactics, but as an owner to Manchester United now, do you look and you go, OK, I believe in Amorim's system, I believe in what he's doing, I'm going to invest a lot of money into this system and I'm going to bring players in for him to play that system? Or are you a little bit worried that this isn't going to work and maybe Amorim isn't going to stay for the long term? Because they obviously did it with Erik ten Hag, where they decided to stick with Ten Hag. They give him a lot of money. He brought in his players. Ten Hag went, and now you've got players that are under the Ten Hag regime, not under the Amorim regime. So I think there's a bit of a situation there at Manchester United in terms of recruitment, and are they 100% buying into what Ruben Amorim's done, and is he going to take this team forward?
Yeah. We can't talk about United without discussing that error from Andre Onana.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on... I mean, it was a mistake. All humans make mistakes, but what about his long-term future at Manchester United?
It was a mistake, and like you say, you know, we all make mistakes. I think there's been times on this show where we've praised Onana for some brilliant saves that he's pulled off, but he is prone to big errors like that. And again, is that another area that maybe Manchester United will be looking at moving forward? But yeah, sometimes it can just be one of those things, can't it? When you make an error at a key point in the game at 2-1, you think, well, you're sort of still in it, aren't you? And you could even sense with the crowd when he made that error, you could sense the crowd like, oh, it's 3-1, this is going to be a real tough ask to get back into it. So yes, we've praised him for those key important saves that maybe he's made this season, but the best keepers probably don't make those sort of errors at key points. No,
because the counter-argument is that's what a keeper's there to do, make big saves.
At big times,
That's why you pay him. It was a huge statement when they brought him in from Inter Milan in the summer of 23. David De Gea then kind of disposed of. But if you think about David De Gea, I mean, he's still only 34. And for a keeper, that's by no means over the hill, is it? And he's currently out in Fiorentina playing out there. Was that a mistake? Should they have stuck with De Gea?
It's all hindsight, isn't it? I think sometimes you maybe look back and go, actually, was that the right decision at that time? Maybe it was the right decision for player and club at that point. But yeah, I just think it's so difficult, isn't it? Because I think Manchester United players, the team, they just get scrutinised with every mistake, with every bit of quality that they show. And when there is a mistake like that, it's obviously highlighted. So, yeah, he'll be looking at that, Onana, and saying, I need to be better moving forward. I need to be the keeper that makes the big saves and continue to do that. Because how many times have we said with Liverpool, with Manchester City, where, you know, it's the game's in the balance and they come out and make an unbelievable save and they go on to win it convincingly. We actually forget because of how good they are and because that's something that they continuously do. So as a top side, yes, you have to have that top goalkeeper.